Hello everyone, I'm Ahalya Gandikuta doing my Masters in Integrated Urban Development and Design at Bauhaus University, Weimar. I'm here to talk about streets as a place for people. A street is the basic unit of urban space through which people experience a city. It is often misconceived as the two-dimensional surface that vehicles drive on when moving from one place to another. Streets are in fact multidimensional spaces consisting of many surfaces and structures. Streets are catalysts for urban transformation. Before the advent of cars, a city street served as social gathering spaces where neighbors could congregate, street vendors could sell their wares, and children could play. But for well over half a century, city planners have focused more on crafting car-friendly cities to the detriment of people and less on coming up with an equitable approach involving various users. Streets stretch from one property line to another, including the building edges, land uses, and setbacks that define each side. They offer the space for movement and access and facilitate a variety of uses and activities. Understanding these various portions of a street as either continuous or interchangeable offers a flexible approach to street design. However, streets differ from one place to another, and what may seem to be appropriate for one location may not be appropriate for another. It is hence important for us as designers to understand that streets are integrally tied to other urban systems, and designing them well demands that the design responds to the local people and the place. For designing streets responding to the people's needs, customs, and lifestyles, it is essential to analyze what the street means as a place to the people who live and work nearby. Understanding the place can also help identify the various uses and functions that the street design can offer based on its local site characteristics. The four main aspects that can be used to define and understand streets as a place. Built environment, which is made of constructed spaces and places such as buildings, parks, and transportation systems. Natural environment, which includes habitats, local ecosystems, and green and blue systems. Social and cultural context, which help identify how unique customs and local climates can influence people's behavior. And economic environment, such as the types of businesses and industries that use urban streets and the number of jobs they support. These aspects are quite crucial and are often overlooked. It should also be noted that densities, land uses, and travel characteristics can shift as the street traverses the city from one neighborhood to another. As the needs and uses along the streets change, street designs should respond and adjust accordingly. In most cities, streets constitute the largest percentage of public property, and this space must be equitably distributed between the needs of the many different users of urban streets. For a typical street, the various users can be pedestrians, who include people of all abilities and ages sitting, walking, pausing, and resting within urban streets. Cyclists, who include people on bicycles, cycle rickshaws, and cargo bikes. Motorists driving personal motor vehicles for on-demand point-to-point transportation. Transit riders, who are people using collective transport such as rail, bus, or small collective vehicles. And people doing businesses, including vendors, street stall operators, and owners or renters of commercial street fronts. To understand the benefits of designing streets for people and to know which of these various modes of transport are more beneficial, let's first compare the size and space occupied by different users. According to standards, it can be seen that walking and cycling take the least amount of space, and a bus can occupy thrice as much space as a car. But one should also consider the capacity that each mode can offer to allocate the space for different street users and activities equitably. For example, let's take a look at how 50 people can be accommodated by different modes of transport. It can be seen that even though a bus needs thrice as much space as a car, its carrying capacity per lane is the highest among all other on-street modes. Today, as land in urban areas is becoming increasingly scarce, it is essential that we use the space within the street most efficiently to serve the largest number of people. To further understand how these modes of transport and the various activities can be accommodated on the street, let's consider a 3-meter wide street for a length of 25 meters. It can be seen that sustainable modes such as walking and cycling can accommodate 25 to 50 people. The same strip of street can accommodate 100 people in just 2 buses, while only 4 to a maximum 25 people in 4 cars. Also, activities within the spill-out spaces onto the streets can accommodate around 32 people, adding life and quality to the street. This can also be linked to the contribution of environmental sustainability, where about 12 to 50 cars can be replaced by just 1 bus. Hence, for a holistic growth of a city, it is important to opt for a multimodal street design approach to serve different modes and provide multiple mobility options to the users for safe, attractive, and convenient travel by foot, by bicycle, on transit, as well as in motorized vehicles. Designers can prioritize on reducing the amount of space for movement and parking while increasing the space for other activities to add to the quality of the street. The same street can accommodate more people, making it more spatially efficient, sustainable, and affordable. Even for users, being aware of such facts can help them make fair, reasonable, and sustainable choices. When we look at the transport sector in developing countries, one can observe a paradox. While sanitation, health, education, and employment tend to improve through raise in income and economic development, traffic congestion tends to worsen due to the increased number of car owners. Though there is a slow shift in the perspective towards multimodal mobility in many developing countries, they still face challenges with regard to the transport sector. Traffic jams due to inefficient use of urban road space with increased car users, air pollution contributing to climate change, absence of parks, walkways, and public spaces as more space is occupied by roads, a funding crisis, dangerous roads due to excessive car dependence making the pedestrians vulnerable and increasing road accidents, disregarding and giving less importance to non-motorized transport, and poor quality of public transportation. 75% of the world's population expected to be living in cities by the year 2050, urban streets will need to balance demands for increasing personal mobility and access to city economy. Where the low-density, auto-centric development patterns of the 20th century have failed, dense cities with robust multimodal transportation networks are best suited to provide sustainable growth, equal economic opportunity, and a high quality of life. Hence, for designing better livable cities, it is important that we as designers and planners shift from asking the question of how many cars can be moved down the street to asking how many people can be moved down the street.